Ever taught me how to buy. Only ever taught me how to spend.
Welcome to the Red Couch with Zubz The Last Letta. I cannot explain my excitement actually. Like, I just want to sit here and just let him talk. But I brought him in because I saw he had 2 new songs, Lavabeast, and I was like, yes!
Another excuse to
another excuse. I mean, I could always interview any other time. He's literally like my #1 MC of all time, ever, all day, and he knows this.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, so Lavabeast, you hooked up with him, bumped into him again, and you're like, look, we were supposed to do some work.
Yes. Well, first of all, it's good to be here. Never been.
Yeah, I'm fast tracking. Yeah,
we'll get there. It's really great to be here. It's good to see you again. Obviously, you've come a long way, so big up yourself.
Yeah.
Lavabeast, yeah. So it's a new time in life for me right now. So anytime I get to go into the studio, it's a thing, So when I met up with Peach, his name is Peach. His producer name is Lavabeast.
Yeah.
So when I met up with him, the stars aligned. We had a quick conversation in the parking lot because he moved into the building I live in. We had a quick conversation about how, oh man, you live in the building I live in. That's amazing. Yeah, what you up to? Oh, really? You? Okay, cool. Yeah, we should do something together. And just like that, Lavabeast, Zubz Collabo came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
weeks ago, by the way. This just happened.
Like yesterday.
No, the song came out
on
about
Friday.
3 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the connection and everything, recording and everything, it's a matter of weeks before all of it happened. Like I think 2 months at a push.
Yeah. You've kind of earned the right to make music as and when you would like to. Most importantly, when it aligns with the way you're feeling, And every time you do something new, it's like a different sound altogether. Looking from like Listeners Digest to Parallel Worlds to Cochlea and Dragon Lion.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Lion kind of like is a step to what sounds like you and Lavabeast are working on right now. Is that a coincidence?
Kind of. Not exactly, but kind of. The manner in which we did Dragon Lion and the manner in which we did this Lavabeast joint maybe is similar, but they've been mad years in between the 2 projects. The thing about it is, I feel like, and it's not just because I've earned the right to do this, I think artists everywhere right now in 2017 have the ability, obviously the right, to get into a studio when they feel like it, put out music when they feel like it, how they feel like it, why they feel like it. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that's reserved for the OGs or like a privilege that's only reserved to the few that have managed to establish something. You can do whatever. You can be like a first timer with your first song and have it out on the socials, online. You can set up accounts on pretty much all the major streaming platforms and have your music out. You know? I think the difference is the stakes for somebody like me versus the stakes for somebody who's just starting out might be different. Stakes might be higher for me. Because it's like, okay, now you've built this legacy, and oh my God, your legacy might be at risk, whatever. But even that is a farce. Like, that's not real. No one really cares about your legacy. Not really. They only care about the last thing you did and how nice that was, or whether or not they were vibing with it. That's kind of what the world has come to now.
Yeah.
We consume content at such a rapid rate, such an intense rate, that things like legacy, hey man, they count to a point. Beyond that point, man, it's about what you bring to the table right now, So I feel like I'm very lucky and blessed to have made music for damn near 2 decades.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it gives me any kind of rights or privileges or anything like that.
Yeah. So wait, let me get this right. Are you saying that, for instance, you have fans that have grown with you, like from 20 decades ago. You have someone that just got introduced
2
decades ago.
200 years.
And then you have someone that got introduced to you literally yesterday, So, I mean, that kind of gap, do you feel like you would need to go back and educate that person that got introduced to you yesterday?
Absolutely not. I think the good thing about music is that, when they say music is timeless, right? Is that even if you listen to the very first ever song by Eminem, right, in 2017, you're still going to get a real sense of who Eminem is in 2017. All you're going to have different is content and perspective, So when you hear what Eminem has to say in 2017 and what he's got to talk about, that might be different. But the essence of the guy will be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And if you feel like digging deeper into 2017 Eminem, the catalog is there. It's available online. It's available everywhere, any streaming platform. You can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
I don't think the onus is on Eminem to school you on
Yeah,
Eminem. You
yeah.
know? So same with me. I don't feel like I ever need to draw attention back to I Write or Handiende or Heavy 8 or Legend of the Golden Mike or none of those things because they're there. They speak for themselves. If you're interested, go check them out. If you're not interested, check this Lavabeast joint out. And whatever it makes you feel like, whatever it makes you do, then that's in its own thing. That's in its own compartment.
Yeah.
But having said that though, let me tell you, anytime when I write, anytime when I produce music and put stuff out, I can only relate to my own experiences and people around me. So I can't relate to MT's audience. I can't relate to Nasty C's squad. You know what I mean? My audience, like me, love Nasty C. They love MT. They love Rabba Yeezy, Yabba Yeezus. We love those cats.
Yeah.
But they relate to me in a different way because we grew up together. We just spent 15 years together. We just spent all these years, you know, having babies, getting married, burying our parents. You know what I mean? Graduating school, getting knocked out of school, starting businesses. You know,
Yeah.
so we relate to each other differently, myself and my audience. But it doesn't mean to say that my music cannot be consumed by a Nasty C fan. It doesn't mean that my audience cannot totally enjoy Rabba Yeezy's music. You know what I mean? That is the power of music, and that's something that I feel like, you know, we need to celebrate more.
Yeah. I just love that you had these references of Nasty, MT, Rabba Yeezy. It really shows that you've got your pulse, you know, on the ball, which is kind of leading to what I was going to ask you in terms of, there's always a debate about OGs and new kids on the block. Evidently, you know, you tuned into the music, but what have you been doing, like, off the radar all this time? I know you were in TV at some point. What have you been up to?
So, life things, it's hard to sum up what I've been doing because it's so varied. Like,
Yeah.
the stuff I do with websites, the stuff I do with my voiceover stuff. So I'm voicing BET as the channel now.
Yeah.
Life, like marriage, you know, nephews and nieces, birthdays,
Yeah.
you know, funerals, just regular life, human being stuff that happens to everybody, whether or not you make music. You know what I mean? That's what I've been busy doing. In terms of like musically, yeah, sure, they've been like the TV shows we did, Above Ground we did with the channel, syndicated across the continent. My heart dictates what I do at any given moment.
Yeah.
The same way I did the Lavabeast project with Peach, where my heart was in it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. Like if I wake up and I decide I'm about to do a television show about cooking, then that's what it will be.
Yeah.
You know? If I wake up and I decide to do a radio show, you know what I mean? Then that's what it will be. So that's kind of what I've been doing. A lot of it has been off you guys' cameras, but it's been just as satisfying for me.
Yeah.
And about the OGs and the young bucks, to be honest with you, bro, I think I call you bro even though you're not a
It's
bro.
okay, I get it.
I feel like the real deal OGs, and when I say the real deal, I mean the guys who are comfortable in their space as grown folk in
Yeah.
space. We love what the young bucks are doing. No lie, because we were them at some point. We were at the forefront of the movement. We were pushing the game, and we were taking it to the level of Squatter Camp finally being signed by majors, right?
Yeah.
These guys are taking it from there to the level where these guys are making humongous, like, you know, marks on the globe, on the planet. We're talking about Sway in the Morning. They're on there kicking amazing freestyles. We're talking about winning awards in the UK. You know, we're talking about people who've taken the game to incredible heights.
Yeah.
And even they're gonna leave it somewhere and take it further. You can't keep having like a negative outlook on the young bucks just because you can't relate to who they speak to and what they speak about. It's not even your job to do that, to be honest, you know? I think it's only your job to support. Call out the whackness when you see it, because that's MC and that's hip hop, that's the culture. But don't criticize to the point where you're hating on cats. You know what
For
I mean?
no
It's just-
reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's disempowering for an OG to hate. You know what I mean? It demeans you and your worth. You know, after spending so long cultivating a space, to then start hating on the people who are reaping and harvesting from what you've cultivated, it brings your worth down and your value down as an OG. And if you're a young buck, forget the OGs, man. Do you? These OGs will advise you where they can, but they can't live your life for you. You know, they probably can't relate to what you're saying in terms of your perspective. So take it with a pinch of salt and do what your heart tells you to do and run wild with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's so powerful. I really appreciate that perspective. It's very, very necessary to reiterate just letting go and just, you know, letting people be in a space like that. I love that perspective. So you and Dumi, I need to talk about you and Dumi. I was requested to put this in.
Yeah.
I mean, you and Dumi, you guys are like, man, victorious. That's the secret track on Whole Worlds. Yeah, you guys are those people. And now he's obviously grown with the times. Like you said, an artist has to grow.
Yeah.
Their heart goes wherever they want to go. And so he wanted to be Stogie T. How do you feel about that? Have you guys been in conversation about that? What's going on?
We speak about everything. I played him the Lavabeast project before we threw it out. I heard the Stogie album before it came. The thing about T is this. You know this about him. He's the kind of guy who he's always constantly going to challenge himself, right? Whenever he feels like it's time for a new challenge, he'll take it on. He doesn't really have any inhibitions.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of failure. He's not afraid of criticism. You've seen how he's on Twitter. He's not interested in people's do this, don't do that, have this, have that. And he doesn't feel like he owes fans of Yvonne, for example, anything. You know what I mean? And I think just outside of T, I think it's important for artists to continuously reinvent themselves. I don't care how long you've been in the game. If we've heard you once and you do the same thing again after that, and then the same thing again after that, it's like, okay,
what are we doing here?
What are we doing? You know? So constantly reinvent yourself. If you get it wrong, that's okay too, because it's better to get it wrong than not try at all.
Yeah.
It's better to get it wrong than keep doing the same thing, even if it worked for you the last time. You know what I mean? And true artists will constantly reinvent. Stogie T is a reinvention. He's been reinventing. He started out as Fat Boy.
Yeah.
And then he went from Fat Boy to Tumi, from the volume, like Tumi. In fact, he just became Tumi and the volume.
Yeah.
But that was like a full-on band.
Yeah.
And then he became T
Big
from the
T,
V.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then he became like Stogie, He did a Mr. Molokani phase. I mean, his handles on Twitter are pretty much indicative of the chapters he's written in his book. This is just another chapter. But aside from the reinvention, which is brave and it's admirable, the music itself, I feel like I'm learning it, because it's definitely not the stuff that I'm used to musically. So he's like a new artist to me in the sense that I have to get to know this guy better. I have to get to know the Stogie iteration of his career better, and then I can say maybe whether or not I'm a fan of a Stogie T. But I love the music. I love Diamond Walk. I also love the joint with MT. In fact, all the features on the Stogie T album were
pretty
amazing.
dope. Yeah,
like his features came through so dope. You know what I mean? So is this gonna be the perfect Stogie T Stogie? No, but the perfect T wasn't the first album either. It wasn't Live at the Baseline.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens with Stogie. I know there's a mixtape of his coming out, so I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, and what about you? Are we getting more music, or how is this going to pan out?
Let me tell you this. This is the first interview we've had since we dropped this thing 3 days ago. So the Lavabeast project is a collaborative project. So what that means is Lavabeast and myself get into studio, we do some stuff. If we like it, we build on it. If we don't like it, we throw it out. And then once we like what we have, we throw it out, And then judging on how we see how it's doing, what kind of response it's getting, what kind of direction it's moving in, we figure out what the next wave will be. So this is wave 1, So we'll see what wave 2 brings. I have no idea what's going to happen with wave 2. I don't even know if wave 2 will happen. So let's see what happens. If wave 2 does happen, then it will be what it will be. It's not a Zubz album. It's not a Lavabeast album. It's a Zubz Lavabeast collaboration. So let's allow that to happen. The third element of the collaboration is the people who embrace this music, who enjoy the music, and who feel like they have ownership and stake in it. Then they'll contribute to what they feel about it and the feedback, and we take it wherever it goes. I have no idea what it's going to sound like going forward, but I know for a fact that whatever it sounds like, you guys will be the first to hear it.
You've been making music for so long. How does it feel to work like that? Sometimes you have like deadlines, like I need this album out by September, or but I mean, now you're working like if I like it, not. How does it feel as an artist to get to that point in your career?
It's liberating, because obviously you don't have the pressures of like, yo, you gotta go gold in a week, or yo, you gotta make sure you hit number 1 on all the radio stations. Those pressures aren't there.
Yeah.
But it's still artistry, it's still personal, and it still hurts when people abuse it, misuse it, misinterpret it. It's still art, right? But to have the freedom to be able to do that feels great. But again, it's not something that I feel is just because I am an OG in the space. I think every artist needs to embrace that freedom.
Yeah.
Don't feel under those kinds of pressures when you're in the stew. Don't feel under those kind of pressures when you're creating. I get those pressures once it's out, and now deadlines need to be made, money needs to be made, bottom lines need to be covered. I get that. But in the creative process, like, yo, just focus on what you're creating, because it's timeless. It's steady. It's gonna outlive everything here.
Yeah.
Everybody here, that's for sure. And there's like, I don't know, 20 people here right now. It's gonna outlive all these guys here. It's gonna outlive you. It's gonna outlive me. So do something that you know for a fact is going to outlive everybody that's probably even gonna hear it, and make sure it counts, so that those guys that do hear it, that probably aren't even born yet, it'll matter to them. It'll make a difference to them.
Yeah.
You know, let that at least consume you as an artist, as a creative, when you're creating stuff. Just think of the posterity of it. You know, as far as me personally feeling that pressure, I don't. And you're right, it feels good. But I will tell you this, Precious. Me, when I started out at Outrageous Records, it was me, Proverb, H2O, Pebbles, just a bunch of us, Optical Illusion. We never had those pressures from day one to begin with. We never felt like we're under any sort of pressure to sell. We never felt like we're under sort of any pressure to chart or whatever. And we felt like whatever we did in the studio was good enough. So we, you know, all we ever did was whatever felt good to us, you know. And 9 times out of 10, we were not alone in that feeling. There were others out there who connected with it, and that was everything to us, you know. That meant everything to us. Later on, of course, then names started to grow and reputation started to be born. But the freedom as an artist, the freedom as a creator to just create, that was always part of what we were nurtured with, the space we grew up in. And I encourage that to pretty much everyone out there. Like, it doesn't matter what your level of creativity is on and what your level of professionalism in what you're doing is. Just do what feels nice with you, man. Do what feels good inside of you, and trust me, there'll be others out there who relate.
Yeah. Zubz, that's pretty much it. I mean, we could talk for hours, so we need to put a timer on it. Most importantly was just to get out, like, okay, what are you up to? Are we getting more? And now that you've explained what it is, we're looking forward to see what you and Peach come up with in the studio. Very
or
exciting
whatever else
times.
comes out.
Yeah.
What I love about being in this space is that we're creating together, but I've always created alone anyway. So we'll just see. There could be other interesting things in store. Let's see.
Yeah. But I mean, when you look on the scene, do you look at some people and be like, I'd like to do a track with, you know, Nasty, or, I mean,
No.
do you think like that?
No, I don't think like that. I put everyone in the same sort of category when it comes to making music and consuming music. So, for example, I enjoy, so let's say Nasty C, right? I enjoy Bad Hair Extensions the same way I'll enjoy Amigos album, you know what I mean? Or the same way I'll enjoy XXX Tentacion, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the thing about it is, I don't consume music like an artist, I consume it like a fan.
Okay. Zubz, thank you so much for taking your time to join us. The Wave 1 EP is on Slickon Live. That's the first wave. We'll wait for the second and third waves, or whatever wave there is that comes after.
Yes.
Yeah, but thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, for sharing with the people our conversations. It's really dope.
It's a pleasure to share them. Usually we have these just you and I on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It's good to
So
share them.
let's just let them in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming through.